Hi, I'm Margaret Schnebly Hodge, president of the Florida Artists Group. Our group has been around since 1949. We've had great art leaders from around the state, such as Hollis Holbrook from the University of Florida, Fanchin Lord from the Lakeland area, and our own Doris Leeper from Volusia County. This exhibit at the Museum of Arts and Sciences is called Florida Palette. It includes 28 artists from the Florida Artists Group Area 5. This area goes from Melbourne up into Ormond and over to Lake County. The types of art in this show are 2D and 3D, including abstract works to representational works and mixed media works. We titled this show Florida Palette because of the variety of mixture of artists and how they work. They all live in Florida. So they have the Florida palette, the colors, the textures that are generated by the environments in which they live. Visitors of the show will get a huge array of works to inspire them, to let them find their own creative stories within these images and sculptures. We hope that they take away how important the arts are to our communities and to our lives. The name of this work is Impermanence. That's really the way that I approach painting. I have a beginning and an ending. I travel through the painting like a story. It becomes what it is to become, and then it ends. I step back, and most of the time, I don't even remember the journey. I've just enjoyed it one moment at a time. Okay, I start with an overall painting, a glaze of color. Then I deepen it and lighten it. I add glazes and impasto. I scratch into it. I don't try to control what I'm doing. I just try to feel the movement as I process through. You can see that this work has blues and some sort of reflections in it. It also has some organic feelings and some graphic shooting up, maybe something from the space age here in Florida. I don't know. Well, the viewer has a totally different experience than the artist as they're producing the work. And so I would hope that the viewer would just take their own journey as they walk around, move around the painting, looking deep into it, and also looking at it as a whole.
My Central Florida environment of trees and lakes provides me with both the inspiration and the materials for my work. My favorite woods are citrus, cypress, oak, and crepe myrtle, which are readily available in my neighborhood, especially after storms and following tree trimmers. I also see birds every day, both at my studio and at my house on the lake in Winter Park. My parents were active bird enthusiasts, and they were involved in Audubon Society, and I was a campfire girl, all of which contributed to my interest in birds and to the outdoors. So in a way, the past inspires my work also. Now, this particular piece began with a happy finding of this curved shape. Bugs had eaten the wood away, creating a fascinating design, and all I had to do was make the bird to sit on it. Shaping some wood to form a bird, I added small feathers that I carved with a small knife. I used a sculptural epoxy that allows me to shape the head and work the legs around the wire feet that I create. Then the piece is painted with acrylic, and it becomes another part of a series of different Florida birds that I've been doing.
I'm really excited to be exhibiting here at the Museum of Arts and Sciences again, and as icing on the cake, to participate in this group show, the Florida Artists Group. It's wonderful. So this painting is of Spencer Lopez. Spencer Lopez is a makeup artist in Las Vegas. She's a friend of a Facebook friend, so I'm known for doing contemporary portraits, mostly of women. So the people I do portraits of generally are Facebook friends or friends of Facebook friends. And the reason I do that, and I've used professional models, but I just am not able to get the spontaneity and the real essence of the person like I can on some of these Facebook people that aren't professional models. So that's who this is. This painting is an example of how I've started to be an actual pointillist painter. Previously, I've been known as a pointillist painter, but I haven't actually used pointillist techniques. I've used dots more for shading, but now I'm actually doing the sorts of things that pointillist painters did, and that is mixing color, not on a palette the way most artists do. They'll put some blue and some yellow and they'll mix it up and they'll have green. Pointillist painters actually mix the paint on their canvas. So they would actually put a dot or a brush stroke of yellow, and then real close to it a brush stroke of blue, and when you stand back you'd see green. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. If you're able to come close to this painting, you'll see that there's layers of plexiglass and there's 2 layers of dots. So the layer closest to the wall is mostly blue. It's a monochromatic blue. Different shades, different values, but mostly all blue. The sheet of plexiglass that's closest to you now is mostly reds, monochromatic reds. But when you put them together, you get this wonderful tonal, kind of a peachy look. And because there's layers, when you move around the piece is actually kinetic. It actually moves around with you. I've also been adding some elements, some kind of a pop art elements to my contemporary portraits. And you can see that with the cross hatching and these circles and whatnot to kind of give it an organic feel. And that is the story of this painting.